All right, so last week we worked on Savio's S14 before we went to the 4th of July event. This week we're gonna be working on the S15 with Sean Booth, finishing it up because it's going to Dyno today. We got Freddy somewhere in the background, getting ready to tune it. So you still have time to try to enter to win this. To make sure every $5 at lzmfg.com and drifthq.com could get you entered to win this sweet thing.
We just touched up some little things, getting ready for the dyno, finish wiring up the hot wire to the fuel pump, bleeding the brakes, Booth and Freddy going through the wiring harness, getting it all sorted out, so it's almost ready for you guys.
Woohoo! So let's cut back to Savio's car and show the rest of it, dyno and all the good things. So we got Freddy here, he's gonna do a little startup tune for us.
I think so.
Get everything ready.
I just want to hear the try-wise. You want to hear the try-wise.
I want to hear the try. Everyone wants to hear the try-wise. So that's what this video is going to be about. First startup. I got the interior in the car, back in the car. We got the new dash put in, or the display. Got it all shined up. New control panel. Obviously updated a lot of things on the engine. Full wiring harness. We put the cool suit in. Really simple. Chris already had it wired, so everything was already set on the chassis harness, so we literally just made a quick little mount, plugged it in, and it was ready to go. Now let's see what these tri-wise sound like. I think it's time. I mean, we'll see in a second. He just checked the injectors to make sure that they were doing the things, and he checked the coils to make sure they were doing the things. So it should do the thing.
Sound right.
It sounded like flip-flop cylinders or something. Did you check all coils?
No, just two.
It's this bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try this. Check this bank.
All right, take two with proper firing order.
Yeah, they were not in the proper firing sequence. That was really loud. That was way louder than before and way meaner sounding. I think I just lost a couple of years off my hearing, but worth it. Savio, you're gonna love these headers and this exhaust.
We were going to originally modify the airbox. Wasn't really happy with how it came out after we modified it. And also, our engine wasn't centered before.
Well, let's start back. I wasn't happy with it to begin with.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then we had to modify it.
And also, our engine wasn't centered before because the way the headers were set up, they had like this much clearance to each side of the frame rail, so it just made it enough to where it wouldn't hit. So now that our headers fit and the engine's actually centered, this had to all be redone anyway. So Crickett made this little unit here to house our giant birthday cake of an air filter. So
yeah.
As we had brackets before, that kind of tagged into the fuel rails, and if you know anything about LS fuel rails, they have a tendency to loosen up and catch cars on fire. This car experienced that situation. So we did this time, we made some brackets that go off the base bolts of the throttle body itself, which is a little easier for us to maneuver and way easier for us to bolt up. The aluminum brackets we had on there before were cracking and moving and all that, so that plus the height of the nutsert, this should sit perfectly on the crown of that little Johnny right there.
Shout out to Chris for making that out of cardboard for me. And his cardboard accuracy was spot on. I mean, I made lines, bent it, put it over here. The only thing I had to do was hold this up to where it's at to make sure I had a little bit of gap there, and then I just marked where I was going to bend this part to fold it up.
Otherwise, believe it or not, cardboard bends differently than steel.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had to fine tune the edges on it afterwards to get it to fit a little better, you know, but like you said, cardboard and fine tuning, you know. But yeah, I have one more hole to drill. I marked 3, or Chris marked 2 of them, and I went to mark the back 2, and I bumped it after I marked the first one, so instead of drilling it on accident in the wrong spot, decided to drill 3 holes first, put some bolts in, and then we're gonna go mark it again and drill it again. So we got this pretty girl all painted now. Chris is bolting it down, and he actually took the time. It's got holes drilled through it so you can put safety wire on it.
We lost one of Savio's engines to a throttle body screw that actually backed out of the throttle body in the tiniest little screw, and it just killed the motor. And one thing we're trying to avoid ever happening again is him blowing up his damn engine over something stupid like that. So this time that ain't gonna happen.
No. Not with safety wire. Because there's one thing you know about Savio's motor. It likes to harmonically back out bolts or break things.
Amen.
So Chris was able to do a little safety wire, finito burrito on that, so it's nice and classy looking. Nobody will ever see it but you guys. So this is how you do a bracket for that huge K&N birthday cake filter. It was nice and easy. Cardboard to steel. Real easy. Let's start up then. So while the S14's on the dyno, we can't show you those numbers. Those don't matter right now anyways. What really matters is Savio's numbers on the dyno. So let's go to that. Now we have Freddy, the master tuner himself here, and we're gonna figure out what she's got in her.
And we'll finally get to hear.
Oh, I heard it. It's loud.
But
Not
high
revved
RPM.
up, yeah.
High RPM, try why.
I'm gonna bring my headphones.
Revved up.
My
Yeah.
earmuffs over.
No earmuffs. Don't need them. Not where we're going. Freddy might need them.
I should be able to hear this from my shop.
Yeah.
So I'll just stick my head out the door.
So yeah, Freddy got the base tune and everything set up. We were having an issue with it getting hot at idle. So the issue right now is that the water pump is cavitating. So we did set up a bleeder here to get the air out of the water pump. So we're working on that right now. That way we can get some poles put in. But all in all, she's running good. She's getting a little warm.
Okay, well, we got Freddy on the dyno with Savio's car. We also just got S14 Ts that just dropped. Adam LZ's S15 on the back, you know, the classic green one. And then we got simple Drift HQ logo on the front, just dropped. And for every $5 you spend, gets you entered in to win the orange S15. So get your entries in now, shop at drifthq.com. Freddy's done working his magic.
It's not magic. It's just numbers and letters.
Numbers and letters.
Yeah, there's no letters. It's just numbers.
It's just LS things. They're easy, right?
Oh yeah, Chevy.
Chevy. We ended up making 595, 495 torque. So really healthy for this 408. Like really good numbers for it. So now we just gotta take it back over, make sure everything's buttoned up on it, and then Savio's gonna come and test this thing. So he's never really actually driven here, like on the property. The car's always broken, so he's never had the chance to. So hopefully we can change that this time.
Alright guys, so we got Savio's car off the dyno, we got the tune and everything finalized. Last thing to do is have Freddy go through and check out all the suspension and get our front and rear wise fab all dialed in, and then for Savio to do a little bit of test drive.
I'm excited for that. We've been waiting for a long time.
It's been a while since he's driven this thing, yeah.
That he has. So what do we do today? Set the ride height, set the bump stops, corner balance the car, aligned front and rear, center the rack, set the front bump stops, set the shock bump stops, bleed the power steering, clearance the chassis for the front sway bar. Yeah, I don't know. I'm fried, so there's not much left going on in here.
So we got a lot done today. Super excited. Tomorrow we're testing. Tomorrow we're gonna be able to push this. He told me to bring my big cojones with me. I'm just ready to drive now. We're ready.
It's probably in the shelf.
It's hot. We're about to do some figure eights. Haven't driven the car in a while. Worked all day yesterday setting up the car. Mr. Miyagi. Wheel on, wheel off. Now it's time to see how good it is. Car is good. We're dealing with a little shaking on the steering when you go to the left. Does not look like it's mechanical. We think it's the pump. We bled the pump 2-3 times. So now it's just a matter of trying out, see if we can get it to right temperature, see if it's gonna go away, or if we gotta replace the pump, fix the lines. But that's why we do this. This is the shakedown, to make sure that we can fix every little detail that needs to be fixed before we go out and run. So it's good.
started Savio very soft with tire pressure, 15 cold in the rear and 28 in the front. I could visually tell that the front end had too much front grip, causing him to kind of pivot around the front. So we kept going up in tire pressure 10 psi at a time. Now we're at 55 and it wants more, but we're gonna call it quits today because the power steering's shaky and the exhaust fell off the exhaust hanger, so we don't want to break the beautiful headers Crickett made. We played a little bit with the shock settings to get it to kind of visually react more to what I'm used to, and it's getting closer. Everything engine-wise is great, sounds awesome. Cooling system's great. I think after that, like 2 back-to-back long drifts he did, it was at 186 when he parked here, which is awesome. Just a few bugs to sort through a fresh build or fresh rebuild, but everything so far so good.
One last thing before we go to, how important is it to dial in your suspension on a car like this?
So I'll be straight up for it. If you get a grippy tire like a Zeknova, Volino, GT Radio, whatever, you can have a 2x4 as a shock and you get all your grip from the tire. But if you're working with a less grippy tire, you got to put a lot more effort in your suspension to get it to make the grip mechanical wise instead of band-aiding it with a tire. Fortunately, we have really good suspension on this car, so we're using a tire pressure for our grip because the suspension likes to be in a certain area, and then if you want grip, lower tire pressure. Wants less grip, add tire pressure. So very simple, keeps the car consistent lap for lap for lap. Because if you're changing your suspension, your toe, your camber, your shocks every 2 laps, you're never going to feel the same. And at this level of racing, you need a very consistent car to race with, or else you're just going to be wasting laps. So keep it the same, do tire pressure, nice and basic.
Awesome, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out.
That's bright, so that's why I can't look.
No, you're good. Thank you.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, so it was successful testing Savio's car here at the compound. The dyno numbers were awesome. We're just under 600 horsepower. And now we're gonna go test it somewhere else to actually get some laps on it, get everything dialed in suspension-wise, get the alignment specs done on it, figure out what we need to do for competition, and go from there. So it was a successful rebuild for Savio. Got the power that we wanted to, really excited, the sound that we wanted to. And a couple little things we gotta do, like oil change and whatnot, change the tires that he burnt off the car testing it, and then it'll be ready to go actually get some real laps in, throw that thing in the 3rd gear and go hit some, hit some corners, some banks, see how it drives with the new suspension setup and the grip kit from the rear from Wisefab, and then also the Wisefab front end. So it's going to be a new thing for Savio with the rear grip kit. He is used to, Wisefab used to have it in his previous S14, so he's just getting back to that one, and we'll see how it goes. Really excited. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think about this V8 and the amazing Tri-Y exhaust. Don't forget that the last chance to get into the giveaway is Wednesday night, the 10th of July. Don't forget. So make sure you get something. Buy some stickers, buy some keychains, whatever. Get entered to win. That's on the dyno right now, and I can't wait. It looks so good. It sounds so good. You're going to want to win it. Wish I could win it. Man, that's Chris's dream car is the S15. That's his...
Not with an SR20 though.
No, but you could sell the SR and put it in a 2J, Well, no 2J in right-hand drive cars. We can talk about it in the comments. What do you think? I believe that right-hand drive cars should get stuff with the exhaust on our driver's side, the left-hand side, not the other way around. So RBs for right-hand drive cars, JZs for left-hand drive cars. Let me know in the comments. And LS for all cars.
Yeah.
Aha! Right, babies? See, big LS girl. Oh yeah.
Till they start.
Till they start, yeah, and then she's out.